Kory Eberhardt, welcome. Thank you for joining us here on Skywatch. Now, I know you have been learning over the last number of years to improve your aurora photography. We stayed with you this summer and you talked a lot about that. Can you kind of give me, what's the biggest mistake that new photographers make when they're trying to shoot the aurora?
So I brought a little prop here. The biggest mistake is not bringing a tripod. They don't have to be fancy. This is just a little, Gorilla Gear one. Bigger, better. Always help out a lot. But a lot of people show up with a very nice high-end DSLR camera, and they don't have a tripod. And you need the tripod because when photographing the northern lights, typically you're going to do a longer exposure. Depending on the style of lens and camera you have, it could be sometimes as long as 8 seconds, or with kind of higher end gear, you can get down to half second or 1 second. So when you're doing longer exposures, any kind of movement will blur your photo. So it's really sad that, people have $1,000 camera and they show up without the $30 tripod that would help them out a lot.
And so speaking of that, camera phones are improving a lot. Still, I know they don't take the best photo of the aurora. Am I going to have any chance with my camera phone, or should I just make the investment and get a decent, actual solid camera?
So we're actually kind of at this crossroads with cell phones and mobile photography, and then, kind of your entry-level DSLR. So I get a lot of people that will show up with like a $300 to $400, kit camera that does really good, but, sometimes they're bulky to bring and a little bit harder to use. So if you invest in an iPhone 11 or newer, or Galaxy S10 or newer, or, those equivalents, I'm using an iPhone 13 now, and you throw in a $5 phone tripod holder from Amazon or, local stores, you would be so surprised at what kind of photos you can get with just modern cell phones now. So for my kind of amateur, photographer coming up to see the northern lights, I would recommend investing in one of the latest iPhones or Samsung phones. And they're easy to use. You literally use it like a point and shoot camera. It does a night mode detection and automatically does everything for you. You throw it on that tripod, you can do a longer exposure and get a more crisp photo. But as of right now, I'd say invest in the phone. You use it every single day, and it's good for night photography now.
Let's talk about a few of your photos, because you sent me some fantastic aurora photos. This one looks like it's aurora in the clouds, and I always think, oh, if there's clouds, I shouldn't even bother to go out.
Yeah, and this was a super special night. If I'm remembering right, it was September 2020. And it was supposed to be kind of an overcast night, which, as we can see in the photo, it is. But sometimes, just because it's cloudy doesn't mean the entire sky is going to be cloudy. So with your naked eye right now, kind of the upper 50% or 60% of the photo, were illuminated clouds by northern lights. And then right below the cloud cover and right above that tree line was a nice little sliver of beautiful clear sky. And we were able to see beautiful dancing northern lights. So this is a still photograph I took, but I also got a really good video of this one where the photo doesn't really do it justice, because that bottom band also had a nice, beautiful tinge of red to it as it was dancing. So I only had like 10 guests this night at my viewing location, and a lot of people were kind of down on the evening because it was cloudy, and we got to see some of the best aurora of that month.
Turning to this one a little bit, I was captivated by the photo just because of the cool line of the aurora. Almost looks like a Steve aurora, which we've talked about a little bit here on Skywatch. But what's going on with all that bright light in the corner?
So, it's going to sound like every night's a fun night, but this was another fun night this September. So a lot of times people think aurora season has to happen when it's cold and, in November and December. But aurora season actually starts August 21st. And so this is the first week of September. And we're, a little bit more limited on darkness from 10 to 2 in the morning. But this was at about I want to say 10:30 or 10:45 when the sun is still setting. So on the left is actually a sunset to the northwestern horizon. And then to the right, obviously is the nice darkness. So I really enjoy this one because it can show, even with some, light sources, you can still see the aurora with the naked eye. And I thought it was kind of cool, like, the aurora is caused by solar activity and energy. So I picked this one and I really like it because in a way it's like the aurora is coming out of the sun.